Other interesting cultural news, you have video game Assassin's Creed inserting full screen mid-game pop-up advertisements, and the fans revolt. Now, of course, in pure publicist mode, but moderately intended, as I believe they're also a video game publisher, in addition to being the game, because I think the parent company is Ubisoft? It is. Okay, so Assassin's Creed, and this comes to us thanks to Ted Litchfield at PCGamer.com, they noted that the players having their games interrupted by full on-screen pop-up ads, but Ubisoft says it was a quote-unquote technical error, which I don't think anyone is dumb enough to actually believe that. It seems to be similar to Bud Light when Bud Light said, oh yeah, we only hired Dylan Mulvaney we only gave this person a can, it wasn't a campaign. And then, thanks because the investigative reporting for Steven Crowder and his Mug Club, well, we found out last week that, oh no, here's a line item, they paid this person. This is a huge marketing initiative. It wasn't just a simple one-off production of a can. It was much more. It's going to be a whole campaign. So, as we know, in Newspeak, or in this technical error, yeah, I don't think so. And they did claim that they quickly patched the error as well. And they also noted that this is the first time it's happened to Assassin's Creed. And I don't normally defend manufacturers who do these types of crap because I hate it. I'll simply try to explain the economics and the business perspective of the video game industry, which has been historically problematic. Now, with Assassin's Creed, in full transparency, I've never played it. I think the most modern game I ever played was Fallout 3 back in college, which was a brilliant piece of, I would say, engineering and artistic work by the Bethesda company, which is now subsequently owned by Microsoft. But so in instances where my whole lifetime, and this may age me, but for decades, the price point for a video game was overwhelmingly $59.99. It was always, being a kid, I would round up, because I know the government's always going to steal, charge sales tax. So it's one of those instances where it was always $60 for a video game. That's just the thought in your side of your head. Now, granted, sales tax, depending on where you live, usually, Texas is 8.25%, so round up. But nevertheless, the idea for most people that was accept price point was $60. It's been that way for decades. Now, thanks to the government, we have ridiculous inflation in the United States. It's almost getting to the point of Venezuela. Knock on wood, it won't get that bad. I don't have much faith in our government, to say the least, so who knows, it might. But it's one of those instances where the price point has not really moved. So these video games, they're actually making less money year over year because money is worth less and less every year. And for a long time, these video game companies were taking a loss. And I shouldn't say they're taking a loss in terms of going negative on the actual video game, but they were not making as much money. And these games have become billion-dollar blockbusters. Look at the Rockstar manufacturer, not the drink company, but the video game manufacturer, more accurately coined developer and architectural designer. But, Grand Theft Auto is a billion-dollar game in revenue and their costs throughout the manufacture of all the games they made. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars to make those games. It's a huge risk and subsequently a huge reward. But the price point is always $60 per game. Now, they've combated this. I think it's been an overcorrection. The first thing that they've been doing historically, which really went viral, now every company seems to do it, is microtransactions. And this one's annoying things where depending on the video game difficulties and your skill sets, it's become a pay to play. So in order to realistically accomplish the game without putting in a ridiculously high amount of time, you have to pay for extra skill sets or features or some other thing. I can't remember the funny third thing, but you have to pay to play. And then you also have things like loot boxes, which is, in my opinion, just gambling for kids. If you're an adult, you put your money towards that. I'm not saying that in a pejorative way, but just go to a casino because, well, at least there's a small chance you're going to win money. With loot boxes, you're literally paying to gamble in a video game and you get a piece of intangible software, like a skin on a Call of Duty gun, which that is just a gun with an extra layer of graphics where they make it look like, I think you get a gold when I was back in my day with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, if you hit an achievement by working and achieving goals in the game, you get like a gold-plated AK-47 or AR-15 or something like that. But so those instances where nowadays you can get like a myriad of different skins and camouflage. And I understand for some people that's an appeal, but that's another revenue stream in addition to the $60 price point. And one of the most perverse things I can think of is putting an advertisement that pops up in the middle of the game. And I understand it's self-serving. It looks like they were advertising their own thing, but imagine paying $60 for a video game, you load it up on your computer, or realistically you just play online, and you're in the middle of an action scene or whatever you're doing in that game, and a big pop-up comes up. I would be irate, which is partially why most of the games I own are all cartridge based. There's also 0% load time. Just plug the sucker in. You do occasionally have to blow the cartridge a little bit, but more often than not, you don't have to wait for. Oh, I was going to say, there's definitely no updates. There might be a bug, but you kind of just live with it. Now, again, going back to the actual article, they said it's first reported by Rock Paper Shotgun, which is a console players of older Assassin's Creed games like Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, encountered Black Friday and pop up for the latest entry, Assassin's Creed Mirage. While trying to access in-game menus, Ubisoft has since stated that the ads appear due to technical error. Videos demonstrating the issue show a full pop-up screen touting a 20% off Black Friday coupon from Mirage, which prompted to dismiss the ad or buy now. Even more annoying. Just buy it right now. I'm actually surprised they actually just charge you in order to close this ad. You have to pay 20 cents or something like that. That'll be the next iteration of this. I would say this destruction of video games where they just become so unplayable because of all the problems you've just been mentioning. Now it'll be going on to, let's see here. Looks like on Reddit, it's also reported with most of the comments saying this is unbearable. Pinewalk1 says, quote, yes, this kind of shit is considered unbearable, getting 1.1 thousand upvotes. Laughing Man says, quote, that's a Ubisoft pop-up, not an Xbox One before people started riled up. The Xbox is forcing ads in the middle of games. The loading icon and appearance of the A and B button are the same as the UI for the game. They got 679 upvotes. Snot Track said, quote, of course, it's Ubisoft, the same game who added grind to their games and then DLC to lessen said grind, unquote. That is 296 upvotes, DLC being downloadable content, which, as we mentioned earlier, was basically pay for play. You need to have that extra ability, or you could just do the same boring, rudimentary task for 25 hours or whatever it is to achieve that same result. Hammer Hawker says, is this real? If it is, F Ubisoft, unquote, getting 86 likes. Balcora says, quote, nice Ubisoft, classy as always, unquote, getting 157 likes. Again, Dallas McDickon says, quote, uninstall immediately, getting 42 likes. And this publisher has had issues in the past with overpromising and under-delivering, microtransactions, and it's actually fascinating they're still somehow independently owned, I believe. Let me double check that really quick. Who owns Ubisoft these days? There's been so much consolidation in the video game industry, well, in the IT industry in the past 24 months especially. I mean, Bethesda's now with Microsoft. Activision Blizzard just got greenlit, so they're owned by Microsoft. Let's see here. Who owns? Because I think it almost is the trifecta. You've got Ubisoft, EA Games, then nowadays Microsoft for the majors. Let me know if I'm forgetting one. Let's see. The Gullet family and Tencent collectively own 25% of Ubisoft, 29% of the voting rights. Oh, yeah, it looks like they're still independently owned, all public traded, headquartered over in France. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, how many times, again, it's also an issue where just like auto manufacturers are charging $50,000 to $100,000 market adjustment on vehicles. Well, it's one of those instances where they're going to keep doing that until people stop paying for it. So it's not ideal that so many people love this particular intellectual property known as Assassin's Creed. But if they just stop buying it completely, eventually the company will stop doing that. I mean, these businesses are reacting because of the incentive structures. And they've listened thus far, so they took down the ads. But let me know in the comments, do you think it's possible to shift the video game industry to the effect where you just say, hey, I understand the cost of video games have gone up. I'm willing to pay the price point of $100 per game, but no downloadable content, no pay to play, none of that stuff. Just give me the whole product. Do you think that's no loot boxes, just the product? Do you think that's possible these days? It would certainly think it would be less overall streams. I kind of think of downloadable content and all that kind of stuff, kind of like baggage fees or airlines. None of them did it. And all of a sudden, I believe it's Spirit, but one airline started to do it. And now it's worth over $4 billion every year in airline fees for baggage fees. Same thing for video games. Now a lot of companies did it, then one. Now they get billions in revenue because of it. So I don't see them realistically shifting away. But perhaps there's a sliver of little hope. Maybe they will. I think the odds are infinitesimally small, but from a consumer perspective, and I know some people don't care about this stuff. Some people, they just keep playing. They don't mind microtransactions. It's their hobby. They're willing to pay more for the little loot boxes or whatever. But to me, that's just too much, and I'd rather just have an old cartridge on a Nintendo 64 and slap it in there, turn it on, and call it a day. But that's just my 3 cents. Used to be 2 cents, but 40-year hyperinflation gotta be 3 cents. Should be 4 cents, but I'm a generous man, just 3 cents. However, if you click subscribe, that'd be worth even more. I really appreciate it. Thank you everyone again for taking time to tune in today, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November. So if you could click that button, then I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give feedback so I know how to improve the channel and make the show better and better so that everyone can have fun. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.